so I figured I'd just try and make a daily blog, possibly, which might be a really bad idea. There's apparently a man with a bag of knives, possibly a chef on his way to the Ritz Hotel, maybe? The literature on the science of propaganda written in the 1920s and 1930s and 40s and the 50s, because the war really changed how they thought about that sort of stuff. They never ever would have been able to predict the propagandistic merit of a Bilderberger, ballet dancing, and also London Bridge. The guys are like really happy to be like sweeping up right now. London Bridge. I want to go to London Bridge just to show you a particular thing that I tried to make a video about, like a proper video, ages ago and failed. But it's very interesting and relevant to what I've been talking about recently. So hopefully today, voice crack. They do not want a solid boundary. An actual wall is offensive. So Theresa, I do believe, is going to be creating an invisible wall. Invisible walls are actually more frightening than real ones. That building where people are emerging on the other side, that's a very suspicious building. I'm pretty sure it's attached to MI6. It's got these funny security doors and funny bods coming out the front. Who the hell are those guys? I think there might be a new statue down here, which is like weird. So hopefully that will be here. Other than that, I'm about to film the other bit. Indeed, there is a funny thing here. Like showing that fake news is real and there must be a government project to deal with fake news. Is that what today was about? Some kind of weird social experiment in terms of like news management? I don't know. But actually, whenever you're talking about like suspicious people and police protection, all that kind of stuff, what you need to bear in mind is that the real spooky people are actually inside the embassies themselves. I'm pretty sure ever since foreign international relations started as a hobby back in the day, these places are just riddled with spies. I've seen them already, and I want to show you them, right? Okay? In McDonald's, yeah, behind me. An enhanced police presence. There is a class war going on. Did you know? It's like the ancient class war battle between Labour and Conservative.
Yeah, dude. Right. You really are a twat? You really are a twat. You have no comprehension of what you're talking about.
Are the police really the public, and the public really police? We have to be concerned about these surveillance issues, I think. Good to point out, by the way, that there are now 5 police officers at Horse Guards Parade. And I was very cynical about it, obviously, because, you know, on a daily basis I see things like this on my way to work, you know? What is it that's going on here? I mean, to hell with like the frilly bloody stone ornamentation in the background. I mean, I think it's there's something else going on here, isn't there? You know what I mean? You just have to deal with that. I don't know. Smashed civilization, post-apocalyptic, smashed civilization. Modernize, you know, we're too trapped in the old world. We need to move with the future, which is the eyes, like the one here in the shopping centre, the big eye. The eyes have it. He said, people were saying that, you know, because he said that and it was so relevant, it just shows that he's on the right side of history and he really understands what people need. And then when I was looking at it and I saw where he made his speech, it made me feel very, very different indeed. Wow. I mean, I've just been looking at the messages on my last YouTube video, and God, the hate is pouring in towards me. I'm a shill. I hate Jeremy Corbyn, apparently. Why have I not made
why am I making videos about Jeremy Corbyn? I'm not making videos like denigrating Theresa May. I'm pretty sure I've made repetitive videos about Theresa May, talking about how she's a member of the guilds of the City of London, how she is a master marketer. You guys know that. But there we go. I'm actually really hardened to it. I'm used to it. It's fine. Anyone who knows anything about the political...
Anyway?
Anyone who is part of the political system
in the
1920s...
Shut up. Who do you represent? Just tell me.
Oh, you told me to shut up?
Yes, because you and your friend kept doing that, interrupting when I was saying something, so I
Please
have right
be more
to ask
authoritarian. It's great. The guy you can see in the background there, the sort of bald guy with the beard walking away from us now, he's actually the security guard for St James's Square. He's dressed like a businessman. It's sort of like a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's hilarious, like the police, like on an army of bicycles. Get off the road. I'll give it a go. The political effect. Now imagine that there wasn't an explosion in Manchester. Imagine if none of that happened, and ask yourself, what would have been headline news today if none of it had ever happened? And the answer is Linton Crosby, the Wizard of Oz, the main magician. The army hanging out with the police, training with the police. They mix so well, don't they? The army and the police. And that's possibly because the police are very much like the military, and so they just blend, you know? And it would be interesting, wouldn't it, if the army officers had to actually tell you not to do something, because being instructed by an army officer is sort of, that's more like martial law than anything else, is it not? I don't know. All the flags at half mast essentially as well, as you can probably tell. So yeah. They don't seem to give a shit, which is good. Winchester Geese in Southwark, where the Bishop of Winchester would have, he ran a business which was clean women. If you cannot find it on the internet, you've got to make it yourself. Whenever I speak to a police officer, I always like to film myself, my own protection.
That's fine. Can you tell me what you were filming?
I'm a blogger. I was filming a blog.
Okay.
It's actually a really nice goose. The military partial martial law has been lifted, and that is actually, I now remember why I got off at that tube station, is so that I can walk past Buckingham Palace to confirm that we are no longer under some kind of military dictatorship. The worm that turned. It's back to normal. That's what it's designed to do, presumably, is to then make us feel that just going back to normal, highly armed, vicious, sharpened police state, that is sort of better. Yeah, fucking weird day already.
Yes, that is a massive beach ball.
But liaison are supposed to be like not evidence gatherers, is that right?
Absolutely.
But then why are you wearing a CCTV
Well,
thing?
it is compulsory, so now
Yeah, but it's not very nice, is it? If you're
Surely that is evidence that you're gathering.
Did you go around to people's houses having a liaison with
I've done actually the decency not to film it, but I should have, because really I shouldn't be filming you. I'm not
But
filming.
can that be used in evidence?
Yeah, all of them can be.
So liaison do gather evidence?
No, we don't.
Lots of people leaving the Queen's Garden party today with like nice hats on and everything. My God, there's so many of them, holy shit. In fact, they're queuing up. They can't be going in. They're waiting for taxis, I think. Holy crap, that is the queue to the taxi, no kidding. It says, the Tories were hit with an election bombshell today as prosecutors charged their candidate in Thanet South with allegedly breaking election spending rules. The Crown Prosecution Service said Craig McKinley, who was seeking to retain the seat he won by beating Nigel Farage in 2015, would appear in court accused of 2 breaches of Representation of the People Act during the last election. Massive building site here is where they're going to be building the new Google headquarters, the lying down skyscraper. Only when I climbed up here though did I notice how St Paul's Cathedral in the Shard, like a line pointing in this direction. This is like, I thought the only thing I could do was to actually do an action climbing a mountain thing. Borough Market, go and have a look for bullet holes maybe, presumably, that's the only thing that came to mind, is like, might be bullet holes and things. Let's go and have a look, I don't know. And they've got a police officer on every alleyway basically on the way in there, stopping people from going around. And I'll show you the metal barriers they have as well, just basically stopping anybody from seeing what's going on in there. Just check this out. This is what they've been hiding away. Head in the sand. Brothers. I've never seen this one before. I mean, what can we say about that? Holy crap. You know, business, Freemasonry, the celebration of the separation between those who wield power and those who will never be allowed to have power. And I'm talking about just the ordinary people. Create all the bedrock finance that people like to monetize and milk. Sam the blogger shot. Not sure if I quite saw her there. Maybe. We'll have to like enhance the footage or whatever. Yeah, and she goes. That's why they're running. They're like, oh my God, what's happening? Something's happening. Oh God, this is going to make such a beautiful time lapse. I was in the way of a police car. They didn't honk me though. It was quite nice of them, really. Oh shit. Got to realise basically this is not a normal town. Still a nice place to go because there was a nice river cruise pier and all that kind of stuff. And now Westminster Pier in the mind equals terrorism, and London Bridge is falling down. It's linked in, they've contaminated the world. You see, if they formed a new election now or in a couple of months' time, what it would essentially do is, like, all those people who were supporting the Greens and the Lib Dems, they would be voting for Labour and therefore actually exorcising the Parliament from any Green, Lib Dem and whatever MPs. So essentially what you would create is a Parliament almost completely made up of Conservatives and versus Labour. We get a little glimpse in earlier on when a car was going through, like they do open them up slightly.
What am I doing? I'm going further afield than any rational and sane person would, given that they've just got a lunch break. But I've come all the way out to, oh my god, Zone 2, can you believe it?
These images of smashed, burnt out civilization becoming more realistic by the day. I thought to myself this morning, I thought, you really should record the video now in the morning before you're like sweaty and tired and miserable. But I forgot. Well, I didn't forget. I just didn't have time to do it. And then the sirens also come past whenever I want to film. And it's all about information. You may remember the George Orwell novel 1984, where he said something like, those who control the past control the future. Well, in terms of controlling the past, or rather documenting official history, it's basically all about data collection. Here we are, another day, another terrorism event.
And responded within 1 minute.
The locals say that the police response took 1 hour to perform a day of rage. So either it's going to be super exciting tomorrow, and it's going to be a riot, like a hipster riot, just like the ones we love, or it'll be boring as hell and actually nothing will happen at all. I'm just looking at the military helicopter. See if we can keep this in the middle of the screen, see how good I am at human tripoding. Ouch! It really hurts at that point. Medieval, but with mechanization.
You're not going to arrest him, are you? What a surprise. Scum! 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 Scum!
Well, this is a nice way to spend your lunch hour. The torch, the right way up, and then the torch upside down is the Mithraic symbol for the cult, and that's what's written all over the building, and also on Crosstown. I mean, if you look here, you may notice it's a bit like the skull and crossbones, like there, but there's one that's the right way up and one that's the wrong way up, and then they have this bagel, which is basically like an occultic symbol, like quite literally an occult of the sun by the two planets or whatever. I'm on Victoria Street right now, just outside number 10 Victoria Street, which I didn't realise until the other day, is home to the National Police Commissioners Council, and then you'll have the whole of NATO and all of their cyber defence strategies, offence strategies, basically just trying to take them out, or whatever they do with cyber attacks. I was thinking a lot about it, and I was thinking, the attack on the House of Parliament, isn't that quite possible that actually the National Cyber Security Centre actually attacked the Parliament? Not offensively necessarily, but as a sort of a trial or a real-world exercise to see where the pitfalls were, see where the vulnerabilities were, and to see how the MPs would react, and to give them basically a kick up the bum to say, you know, be better and more carefully contain your information with better passwords, please, because we don't want any of that dodgy information leaking out. Oh yeah, that's absolutely fine. I mean, you know, if there's a bit of danger in the air, if somebody's run somebody over with a van on London Bridge or something, then it's perfectly acceptable that you completely throw out all of the Western traditions of moral behaviour.